Hello, and welcome back once again to Strong at Home. This is Dr. Brenda Murphy, and I'm an educational psychologist. And we have been talking about the subject of COVID and this very devastating pandemic that has hit our country and our communities. And in my community, Marilyn Calfee, who is with us, welcome, Marilyn. It's so good to
Hi.
see you again. That Marilyn and her husband are very important members of our community. Marilyn's husband, Kent, is the state representative for this district and serves us well in Nashville. And so we ended our story last time, or Marilyn ended her story last time, of on the 4th of July, a very a very important day in the life of a politician, especially in election year. So, Marilyn, I know that I've seen you out in lots of pictures and things on prior 4th of July. So what was this 4th of July like?
Oh, wow. I just laid in bed and I was really too weak. Weak, maybe not that way. Not that may be a little strong word on the 4th of July, but I wanted to look up pictures. I wanted to be able to enjoy other people's 4th of July. I wanted to be with them vicariously, if you will.
Oh, I understand. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I just wasn't able to comprehend really how to use my phone to get to Facebook, to look things up. I could get there, but then it was like there were barriers, mental barriers that I just couldn't get past. It was the same thing about reading. When I got sick, I put a stack of books in the bed. I had my Bible in the bed, had a lot of magazines that I just don't have time to look at, and took scissors thinking I would clip articles, things like that. And 2 weeks later, they were still there, exactly where I put them. I just did not have the ability to do anything.
I think that demonstrates the devastating effects. And for me, about the time you were putting those um, resources there in the bed with you, your daughter posted this on Facebook, and a friend of ours, oh, in fact, a woman who had been at the graduation on the Monday before, on Monday sent this to me in Messenger because she knew that I had been there. And a beautiful picture of you,
Oh, thank
Marilyn.
you.
But the caption, it was really odd when I saw it. It says, "My name is Missy Cooper, and I'm posting this message for my mom." And then it says, "She's been diagnosed with COVID." And at that point, honestly, Marilyn, my heart just sank for you because it was obvious. And at that point, when I received that, knowing that we had been in such close contact, and at that point, I had not been feeling well, I had had a fever. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I was so concerned about you, and I had enjoyed our time together at the graduation so much that I called you. And I mean, I was kind of bold in that, and I thought, I don't know. And you picked up the phone, and it was like, hello? And my heart just almost stopped. And I felt so terrible for having called to interrupt you. And, we talked a little bit. And at that point, I I went, I don't remember if I literally went to my knees, but I did in my heart, asking God to please come and help you because it was obvious to me how sick you were. So that was like July the 6th. And I kept checking Facebook. Thankfully, I did kind of lose my mental faculties, but not to the extent that you did. So continue on telling us what happened after that posting on Facebook, the subsequent days.
Well, my daughter, and this is where it gets when people are political, and I don't mean that Democrat and Republican, I'm just talking about maybe political correctness. We went back and forth. Do I post that I have COVID?
Yeah, I know the
And because
feeling. Yes,
at that point, I knew that there were people in the county that had it. I
yes,
had no idea who had it. I
right.
had, there were people on Facebook saying, we need to know who's got it because we need to know were we there, blah, blah, blah. Well, I understand that, but there is a HIPAA,
Yeah,
there's some privacy there too. And,
yes,
but I thought, because I don't know and because other people have wondered, let's put it out there. And so I said, Melissa, do not be over dramatic, but do not exactly tell the truth about how I'm feeling right now. And she said,
yes,
I won't, Mom. She said, but people need to know. And I said, you're exactly right. They do need to know because they need to know that it's real. They need to know that it can affect anyone. It could affect me. I'm 67, but I consider myself very healthy. I didn't have any underlying conditions. I've never smoked. I don't drink. I don't exercise like I should, but I do walk. I keep my
yes,
mind healthy. I
yes,
try to keep a certain weight. And so I really just did not think that it would ever happen to me. But
yes, yes,
wanted
yes,
so I wanted people to know it, not that it gave me any recognition or notoriety, but I just wanted people to know I wanted them to be able to put a face with it here in Roane County. Because
yes,
up until then, there was no face. No one had really come out on Facebook or been very open about it. I'm sure family members of the ones who had it knew, but as far as putting it out there to show that it was real and it wasn't just a story.
yes, yes, yes. And so you put it out there, and then what was it like at the house after you did that? Were you hearing from people, or did you even know what was going on in the world around you?
I did not know what was going on in the world around me. I really didn't. I was in a mental fog that I don't know if it's caused by the COVID or the pneumonia. But yeah, speaking to people since then that have COVID, I'm sure that that's a part of it. There isn't that mental fog where you don't have the cognitive ability to even think logically. Um, I got so bad there the first week. By the end of the first week, um, my daughter was FaceTiming me every 2 hours. And the reason she was doing that is just to make sure that I was still alive. I will tell you that because Kent had got sick by then and he was doing his best to hold it together. He was asymptomatic at first. He
Mm,
stayed asymptomatic for nearly a week before he got
wow,
really bad.
wow.
And so I don't know how long you have it before until, you can really start showing symptoms.
That's
Um,
one of the, again, the anomalies of this thing. We really have no idea. There are things we still don't know about how,
yes.
like, where did you get it? Where did I get it? It's still kind of a guessing game.
Right, right. And people say, well, did you know? And I said, well, no, but it doesn't matter. I've
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Let's deal with it.
Yes.
Um, but when you've got it, other people have to deal with it.
Yes.
Basically, as you well know, all you have the strength to do is lay in bed. You sleep a
That's
lot. I slept a lot. And in my case, maybe talking with other people, I know my case is different than other people's. Other people's were different than mine, and that's one reason it's hard to get a grasp on what works. Does a medication work? When they gave me the antibiotic, it was for the pneumonia. It wasn't for the COVID.
right.
Um, so I'm sure that helped. There was, to be honest, Brenda, I being as honest as I can, I remember lying back there. Kent would come and he would feed me popsicles at first. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't thirsty. I wasn't anything. Your body can go quite a while without food, but you've got to have
Liquids.
liquids.
Mhm.
And so he would feed me popsicles, and he would give me sips of ginger ale, and I didn't want it, but he made sure that I had it. When
Yes.
he got sick, my daughter took over. That's when my daughter took over with a FaceTime, and she was our rock once that he got sick. Um, Apparently my phone just stopped working with all the messages and the voicemails and things that I got. I don't remember them. I don't remember our call. I
Yeah,
don't know what I told you, but you know,
I mean, you were really you seem to be together. I think that that's indicative of COVID. Like there were times for me that I thought I was really on track and with it, and in hindsight, I realized that I was not tracking real well with the conversation. Although in the moment, it appeared to be. So I'm sure that that was the same thing for you. And actually, I believe that you had taken pictures at the graduation and you actually sent those to me.
yes, yes, yes. I remember you asking for the pictures, and I think I sent them.
Yeah, you did. On my, I probably
If I didn't, I will go back and I'll get that done.
yeah, on my when I did my stranger in the body parts, I posted that picture and we all looked so healthy and happy and we were, the kids and I were far apart. I don't
Yeah,
know it was
yeah,
exactly it
yeah.
was 6 feet, but it in the
We were
picture it may not
distancing.
look it, but in the church it was because those are big
Yeah,
steps and all. So yeah, you did. So as you're laying there with your daughter FaceTiming you to make sure that you are still with us, what else was going on for you? Because those are the things that I think as people have found out I've had COVID, that they want to know, they're interested in knowing because, as you've said, anyone can get it. And
yeah,
in our conversations, both you and I were not, carefree and didn't take care. We
right, right.
were careful.
Yes, yes.
So you just never know. And,
No,
and so,
no.
and you never know the extent of it. So your case, my husband ended up in the hospital because his oxygen levels dropped, but it sounds like that may have been where you needed to be as well.
Right, and it was so early on. I spoke with my doctor. Firmly felt that I needed to be in the hospital, but I went to the ER, and and I guess there is this, I don't know, this thing that they didn't override each other or whatever.
Yes.
But anyway, it was about toward the end of the second week. Like I said, I would just lay there. I would take drinks. I would try to eat. Nothing tasted good. Sounds crazy, but I when I would eat soup, when I would eat crackers, particularly crackers, to keep my stomach settled, um, it tasted like salty, wet cardboard. Now,
Oh,
I've never ate salty, wet cardboard, but just in my mind, that's what I thought that it would taste like. I could lick my lips, and all I could taste was the salt.
mm.
The necklace that I wear all the time um, is sterling silver. And by the time I was through with COVID, it was black, and I had to have it cleaned. It
That's
changed my pH
interesting.
balance in my body somehow or another. My doctor and I are going to talk about that also, at some point in time, because I would really like to know. I'd like to delve into this a little bit more as to why my lips tasted salty, why I couldn't taste anything and everything tasted like salty cardboard, and then why my body, uh, my wedding ring, the jewelry that I wear, everything. My wedding ring didn't tarnish, but the silver did. It turned specifically black. I mean, as dark as it had it been a cheap piece of jewelry, and it was a good price piece of jewelry.
Yeah, it was good.
So I
Yeah.
had to take it to a jeweler's and have it cleaned. I couldn't clean it at home.
Oh,
Um,
now that's interesting that, women, we take care of our jewelry and
yes,
you
yes,
couldn't clean it and it required a professional.
yes,
That's really,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I have a few more questions for you.
Okay.
And we have expended the time on this strong at home conversation. So, like I did on the last one, I'm going to ask you if you would come back and share, because I want to know, what were some of the scariest and strangest
Yes.
things that you experienced? And where was your level of fear? And what are some of the outcomes? And we may even go 2 more sessions, because there's a lot that we've both experienced with the outcomes. So we're going to close for now, and we will talk again so that our viewers can follow this amazing story, this amazing experience that you had with COVID. But
Okay.
for now, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Thank you, Marilyn. We will talk again very soon and finish this really interesting story, very unusual story about COVID.